There are women who spend $300 on eyelashes and are still treated as middle class. Others do not even wear makeup, and everyone lowers their voice when they enter the room. Why? Because there is a silent language on your face that reveals your social class before you even open your purse or mention where you live, and this language has nothing to do with genetics. This is Carol speaking. I am 40 years old, and if there is one thing I have noticed over the years observing women at dinners, events, and even in line at Starbucks, it is that some women reveal their social class with just one look, not because of their clothes, not because of their purse, because of their face, because of the choices they made or failed to make. And before you think this is just my impression, let me tell you something fascinating. The University of Glasgow conducted a study in 2024 that mapped the exact facial features that make you look rich or poor. The researchers showed photos of neutral faces to participants, and they correctly guessed the social class of the people in 68% of the cases. No clothes visible, no jewelry, no context at all, just the face. Subscribe to the channel, activate the notification bell, and leave your like if you want to learn how to be elegant and turn your elegance into profit. Therefore, if you think you are investing in beauty but are still being treated like just another one, perhaps you are sending the wrong signals. Today, I will show you 4 facial choices that immediately reveal middle class and how truly sophisticated women do things differently. 1. Eyelashes that are too long, the frame that became the entire painting. Have you ever noticed that some women walk into a room and the first thing you see are their eyelashes? Not their eyes, their eyelashes. They arrive before she does, as if announcing her entrance. The eyelash extension industry in the United States generated $1,360 million in 2020 and is expected to reach $2,310 million by 2028. Clearly, many people are investing in this. But here is what no one tells you. Have you ever seen a photo of Catherine, Princess of Wales, wearing triple-layered fake lashes? No, and she is the future Queen of England, because women who hold real power do not need to glue on dramatic lashes to appear powerful. Catherine uses a mascara by Lancome, Hypnose, which costs less than $50 and achieves that naturally voluminous lash effect without ever being obvious. Charlotte Casiraghi, granddaughter of Grace Kelly, has lashes you barely notice when you look at her. Carolyn Bessette Kennedy? Same thing. Because they understand a fundamental code. Eyelashes are meant to frame the eyes, not become the main attraction. Lashes that are supposed to whisper end up screaming when they are too long, too curled, too artificial. And that scream has a very specific social address. I spent a lot of money on this and I want you to know. The problem is, everyone already knows, just not in the way you were hoping. In 2024, the trend among sophisticated women is the wispy lash, lashes with a light, almost invisible texture that create depth without drawing attention to themselves. Exaggerated extensions, that effect I call permanent fan, have become a symbol of insecurity. And insecurity has never been a status code. Here is what you can do. If you love the practicality of extensions, ask your technician for the natural classic style, with a maximum length of 10 millimeters and a soft C or D curl. If you prefer mascara, look for formulas that separate and lengthen without adding excessive volume. The Lancome Hypnose that Catherine uses is perfect for this, or more affordable versions like Maybelline Lash Sensational. Apply only 1 or 2 coats. You want people to see your eyes, not count your eyelashes. Because true elegance does not compete for attention, it simply receives it. 2. Artificial lip fillers. The mouth that should whisper but decided to put on a solo show. How many times have you looked in the mirror thinking you looked beautiful with that new lipstick, that flawless makeup, and then realized that no one treated you any differently? Perhaps the problem is not the lipstick. Perhaps it is what is underneath it. Lip filler procedures increased by 75% in the United States between 2019 and 2020. Everyone was getting them, and that is exactly where the problem lies. When everyone is doing it, it stops being a code of exclusivity and becomes a marker of trying too hard. Research from 2024 on class perception reveals something brutal. Excessive lip filler has become a sign of aspirational middle class. Sociologist Ruth Holliday explained that working-class bodies are almost always marked as excessive, as too much, and lip filler would be a classic example. When middle-class women try to copy the visual codes of wealthy women, they often exaggerate because they have not yet understood the most important rule of sophistication. Less has always been more. Do wealthy women get lip filler? Of course, but you cannot tell where. Their filler is so subtle that you would swear they were born with that perfectly symmetrical mouth. The problem is not the filler itself, it is the lack of proportion. It is the mouth that looks like it was inflated with enthusiasm. It is the visible outline, that zip code look that seems to have been drawn with a marker. It is the mouth that enters the room 5 minutes before the woman. Compare Megan Fox at the beginning of her career with Megan Fox today. The difference is not age, it is obviousness. And in the language of the elite, obvious is the opposite of elegant. The major trend in 2024 is natural lip enhancement, strategic, minimal fillers focused on hydration and symmetry, never on dramatic volume. The dissolve wave exploded on TikTok with over 37 million views. Influencers like Molly May said they feel more beautiful than ever after removing the excess. Blac Chyna dissolved everything and declared, "I am tired of this artificial look." If you already have filler and feel you overdid it, speak to a dermatologist about partial dissolving. You can keep some structure but remove the excess. If you are thinking of getting it done, ask the professional for the most conservative result possible. Use naturally beautiful mouths as your reference, not Instagram celebrities. And remember, you want lips that complete your face, not compete with it. Because in sophisticated society, the mouth should suggest, not announce. 3. Uncontrolled facial expressions. When every emotion becomes a performance. Here is something you rarely hear. Elegant women control their facial expressions, not because they are cold or distant, but because they understand that the face is their most important calling card. And calling cards do not make faces. Have you noticed how Emma Watson maintains a composed facial expression? You never see her with her mouth wide open in surprise or her eyes bulging as if she just saw something shocking. She smiles, of course. She even laughs, but it is a controlled smile, a laugh that lights up the face without distorting it. She responds, she does not react. Middle-class women often express emotion theatrically, laughing with the head thrown back and the mouth open wide enough to show the uvula, dramatically wrinkling the nose, moving their eyebrows up and down as if they were dancing. It is all very expressive, very authentic, very obvious. The problem is that the elite learned centuries ago that uncontrolled emotional authenticity is not refinement, it is a lack of polish. Social perception studies show that exaggerated facial expressions are associated with lower emotional control, which in turn is linked to lower social class. Think of Blair Waldorf from Gossip Girl. Her makeup was always subtle, her facial expressions always measured. Even when she was angry, you could see the tension in her eyes, not a contorted expression. The wannabes around her, on the other hand, always exaggerated, and always seemed desperate for attention. I am not saying you need to become a robot. I am saying you need to be intentional. Wealthy women smile with their eyes, not just with a wide-open mouth. They express surprise by raising one eyebrow, not both to the hairline. They laugh, but their laugh is musical, contained, never accompanied by table slapping or sweeping gestures that draw attention to themselves. You do not need to make 1,000 expressions to be heard. Those who have true presence are heard even in silence. How can you train this? Practice in front of the mirror. Smile without showing all your teeth at once. Laugh without fully opening your mouth. Practice what models call the resting face, a neutral expression that is not hostile, serene but not bored. Record short videos of yourself speaking and observe. Are your expressions complementing your words or competing with them? Small adjustments create a huge impact on how others perceive you. 4. Exaggerated eyebrows. When the frame steals the spotlight from the portrait. Have you ever noticed how some people walk into a room and you cannot take your eyes off their eyebrows? Not because they are beautiful, but because they are impossible to ignore. Overdefined microblading, with artificial strokes that look like they were drawn with a ruler. Extremely thin eyebrows in the style of the 1990s, which make you look perpetually surprised. Or overly arched brows that give the impression you are constantly suspicious of life. The problem is not having defined eyebrows. The problem is having eyebrows that seem to be competing for attention with the rest of your face. Charlotte Casiraghi, from the royal family of Monaco, does not have perfect eyebrows. She has the right eyebrows, natural, yet polished, slightly filled in, but never artificial. When you look at her face, you see harmony, not one feature shouting louder than the others. The elite understands something fundamental. Eyebrows should frame the face, not steal attention from it. They must look like you were born that way, even if you spent time and money making them perfect. This is the paradox of true elegance. The more expensive and worked, the less it should appear so. In 2024, the trend is brow lamination combined with minimal strategic filling. The goal is to create slightly brushed-up brows with a natural texture that remains controlled. No harsh strokes, no exaggerated arches like a cartoon character, and no color that does not perfectly match your hair tone. For women over 30, the ideal eyebrow has a gentle, natural arch that opens the gaze, but never so dramatic that it looks drawn on. Use a brow pencil in a shade close to your natural hairs and make small, light strokes that mimic individual hairs, never a solid block of color. Finish with a clear or slightly tinted gel to set the shape. If you have overly visible microblading, speak to a professional about partial laser removal or advanced coverage techniques. When your eyebrows arrive in the room before you do, there is a problem of proportion. And proportion, my dear, is what separates the elegant from the exaggerated. Now, let us talk about something that can completely change how you are perceived. If you have made it this far, you already understand that class codes are not just in what you wear, but in how you present yourself. They are visual, behavioral, and social signals that wealthy women master from an early age or learn quickly once they enter that circle. But here is the liberating truth. You can learn it too. That is why I created the course, Look Rich Without Spending Much. It is not about looking rich to impress others. It is about being treated with the respect, the attention, and the opportunities that you know you deserve. In the course, I teach all the complete codes: body language, facial signals, makeup choices, proper proportions, everything that determines whether you will be perceived as sophisticated or as someone who is merely trying to be. Because here is the raw truth. The way you are perceived determines the way you are treated. And this course was created so that you are treated the same way high society women are treated automatically, with deference, with interest, with doors that open. Right now, it is available at a promotional price. Take advantage of it. The link is in the description. Back to facial signals. The good news is that none of these 4 signs is permanent. You can adjust. You can refine. You can choose a more subtle, more discreet path, one that is aligned with the true codes of wealth. Replace dramatic extensions with a high-quality mascara applied with technique. Dissolve the excess filler and aim for natural symmetry. Train your facial expressions to be intentional, not reactive. Adjust your eyebrows so they appear natural, yet flawless. These small adjustments will create a monumental difference in how you are perceived and, as a result, how you are treated. Because in sophisticated society, the one who speaks softly is the one who leads. The one who shouts is the one trying to be noticed. Your face can be your whisper of power or your scandal of insecurity. The choice is yours. If you enjoyed this content and want to keep discovering the silent codes of elegance, consider becoming a supporter of the channel through the Members Club. Membership starts at just $4.99. Click the join button and become part of this community of women who are transforming not just their appearance, but the way the world treats them. Until the next video. And remember, in true elegance, what is not said speaks louder than any shout.